worth. That was Foamer who wanted a piece of it, but Saf's going to be able to go. What is that? Woo! Saf pushes across, jump, 180. If he didn't get the siphon, he would have been eliminated immediately before because he's below the 50 HP. 36 is going to keep him alive, and that gives him a point. So now back up to that average point from there. That's going to push him into tied with Vivid, and on tiebreaker, he's actually going to be above him coming through it. That's incredible right now.
He is going for it here. I can't believe he just made the most aggressive counter push right there. That was absolutely incredible. And now he's going to be able to replenish up on all of Foamer's loot. We know Foamer to be a defensive, slow, methodical player, one of our highest placements as far as pop-up performances go in the past. Look, Saf is back in the game right now.
Absolutely incredible right there. And then Clarity had opted to disengage. Saf heard that, and then you see recycled utility. When people use a Rift to go, or they use a launch pad late game, everyone hears that audio cue, and then they run for it. They're like, I get free utility, I can go get that real quick. And then Saf, now, safe zone, middle next circle, got the elim, and he's going to heal up to 125 effective HP, even 100 if he wants to use the campfire. So this is, that's, oof. You are watching incredibly calculated young legend who dominated duos yesterday, trying to desperately repeat that clutch performance and put himself back in first place.
Even broke. Oh my gosh.
So
do you want to break that down?
No, you got it, dude. That's all you. Go ahead.
Listen, Sav is being calculated with every single decision. He is losing. The reason he break the campfire, it gives off a smoke signal. It gives off a cue to the area. Every piece of information matters in the highest competitive levels of Fortnite. There's 100 different ways we could break down off a campfire play here.
Yep, and now Naga Ops jumping over on 4 elims. Our current elim leader who is left in the match. One more will give him an additional point. 2 points will put him in the money in that top 20 situation. That's what the players are fighting for. And now look at that, trying to find whatever shots he can with that legendary suppressed AR, catching people who are rotating. He has to leave pretty early on. He's at the backside of the circle, but he's looking like he's going to try and find people rotating, and there's a lot nearby.
And this big elimination right here, because this is worth a point in this game format here. This next elimination will be his 5th, and then he will be so close to the big bonus. This is a big rotation here. He is looking for players. That's Whites. Makes the edit. The Storm unfortunately takes him out there, but it's a Rift to go. He catches it.
Yeah, and look at all the players in the sky. That's what we talk about, recycled utility. You see that Storm Surge warning go away. That means players are being eliminated. We're now down to 30 players left. And look at those poach. Bizzle, Schmecht, Persecute, Clarity, Naga. Some opting to drop down to try and get a piece of the action on the low ground. They want elim. They want points. Trying to fall down on ultimate high is Naga Ops. But you see all of the tarps being built, players covering themselves from above and below, trying to not get picked when they're rotating. Naga dropping down on that middle tarp, metal out, 57 structures left. Notice how quickly he burns through this in favor of safety.
He also chose to not use floorboards there because he knew a player was below him. Just those little opportunities to save up materials here. Naga's on the offense. That's a big hit right there. 66, there's another player below him. He's looking for blood here. Is he going to be able to find it? Here comes a low-level disengage now, and there's going to be a player right over to his right.
Really be able to find the shop, now being pressured from above. Look at these diagonal tarps, making sure you're building out next to you, then covering your sides, editing forward. This is Bowman now on the low ground, sitting on 6 elims, picks up Armand. Will he be able to get the 7th for a point and then activate big bonus, trying to drop down the play on the loop. 100 shot, does not pick it up, gets eliminated by Tfue. Going in, 10 players left. Everyone just got a placement point. Mateos drops down, Saf knocking his builds out from underneath him. This is Chaos. Tfue now 4 elims. 8 players left, looking to find one more, getting those 2 points to catapult himself further into that top 20 after the last game. He's almost there, now out of builds, reliant on finding elims or cleaning up other resources. Kuros on that low ground. Blue T trying to pick up the elim from the siphon. Bizzle ends up living in the storm. Tfue on the low ground with Kuros. Kuros ends up going down to the storm. Bizzle, ultimate high.
1v1. Bizzle versus Tfue here. Tifu's just looking for the peak. He has no materials. Didn't even go for the
ultimate high.
farmer.
Bizzle is now getting dropped on. They cue the trap. Not going to be able to find it yet. Still 3 players remaining. Tfue
second there, I thought it was only 1 player, but it's not.
No, he was sitting all the way up. He had popped the rip, and he was just hanging out above. Tfue trying to knock down the structures. Builds are beginning to fall. Will he catch it? Tfue goes down to Bizzle. Bizzle cleans it up with the pump into the SMG, and that is it. 3 elims into the victory royale. Incredible performance coming out from him. He has to be happy. That's going to catapult him right into the conversation for the last game.
What an incredible finish by Bizzle. One of our favorites to watch from the start of this entire solo series, coming in hot. Here are the final moments. It was actually Flossin who came overhead from the dive down. Super off guard right there. He falls to his death, unfortunately, simultaneously.
Right at the same moment. It was neck and neck. He fell right on the corner. You saw him fall down. And it's just.
And listen, Tfue is actually granted the elim on Flossin because he broke all the structure. So that was Tfue's 5th elimination. Not only placement and a 2nd point for the elim.
Huge. Saf as well, 6 elims, and then got into the placement points. It's going to catapult them back up there, going back and forth with Vivid. They're Mr. Consistent right now, but we're going to throw it on over to an interview.
Guys, first off, let's just say, if Kitty plays, I feel like I can hear in the back yelling, bizzle, bizzle, bizzle. Let's just put it out there. You're a monster, all right? You've been in this position so many times. I got to know, how is it you always maintain that high ground?
It's just playing your game style, and it's a series, and hopefully one game you're going to play it right and you're going to get the win.
All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper, right? So we've kind of had a video package of you in the past and stuff. Can you dive a little bit into what you're doing that's giving you these advantages over all these players? Like, what is it? Like, are you just playing for like 8 hours a day? Like, what do you have that we don't have?
When you're playing the game and you're playing against the best players in the world, I think that's what gets you better. When you have a group of friends that you can rely on that can get you better at the game, and that's what everyone needs, I think.
Yeah. So how much do you play with those friends? Is it like once a day? Are you like, look, I'm going to fly solo, but then you're like, no, I need to play with you guys? Like, what's the story?
Oh, it's every day. We're playing with each other, and if there's downtime, we're always looking to play with each other, like whenever we can. That's what makes someone better.
Now, here you go, man. Last game, all right? This is game number 6. You going to keep the road steady? Like, what are you looking to change up for game number 6?
I'm not going to change up anything. I'm going to hope I find some movement, find some brists and launch pads, and hopefully just get a high placement with good kills and get some more points on the board.
Well, bizzle, bizzle, bizzle. Let's see if you can make it happen. Best of luck in game 6. Guys, back over to you.
The duo's back at it, baby. Good to be sit up here with Dr. Lupo. Ben, brilliant day from top to bottom, and we just got a little sneak peek at the standings, and we're holding on to each other going, look at these names and where they're at.
The top of the list actually it's absolute insanity.
Yes.
And we're going to take a look at it here in just a second. Right on your screen right now. Saf, Vivid, Bizzle, Kaizui, Pearl, Tfue, Pate, Armand, Vaccaro, 72 hours. Look at the spread here, Jack.
The most insane part, some of these names, Vivid, Bizzle, Tfue, 72 hours. These are all guys in the top 10 in prize money in Fortnite history. And again, they continue to show how consistent they are. But Saf, the man who won duos yesterday, in first now for solos, but keep in mind the point difference here. Ben, break down a little bit of what some of these players would have to do to dethrone him from that first place spot.
So let's say Saf has a bad game. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen for him, but 11 points, a lead of only 2. Let's look at even just the top 6, down to Tfue there at 7 points. A 4-point spread means that a high elim game or even just a high placement game and a couple eliminations could push literally any of these players into first place over Saf. It's so close, Jack.
Yep.
That striking distance, it's a thing for everybody.
Absolutely.
Even all the way down to Vaccaro's 5 points. A 7 elim victory royale game would put him at a tie in terms of points, and that's so close that it really is anybody's first place to grab.
Oh, 100%. And think, just in the last 2 days, we've seen multiple 9-point performances where players are dropping 10 elims with the victory royale. Here's the rest of the standings through the top 20. You see Zexro in there at 16th, Blind at the 15th spot, Ghoul there at 13th. But either way, the players are ready. They begin to load on up. The Secret Skirmish going into our final game. What a performance it's been so far from these players. Either way, though, a fantastic event from top to bottom. I can confidently say that I think these are the best competitive settings in regards to the meta of the game, in regards to the updates that have been made that we have played yet in Fortnite history.
Now, we want to take a look for just a second at your current leader, Saf. He won the duos yesterday with his partner, and today he's established first place dominance thus far. We're 5 games deep, Jack. We have 1 left, and look at this. 3,243 total damage dealt, with a fraction of that, 586 total damage taken. And look at the how much of that has been rifle damage. At a distance or up close, doesn't matter. The weapon has been extremely versatile for him. Saf has dealt 1,200 damage and 20 total eliminations.
That's some of the most ridiculous stats I've seen.
It's big numbers.
3,200 damage dealt with, again, as you mentioned, a fraction, about 1/6 of that in damage taken. I mean, yeah, sure, you'd expect something if the guy's in first place, but still, either way, a testament to how good he is. If you're wondering how you can wind up getting involved in any of these events, remember, a lot of these guys came from qualifying online, playing through the pop-ups, making some noise in these online qualifiers. It is insane. One of the players right now in the top 10, one of the biggest names out there for Fortnite, it is Tfue on the floor.
Hey guys, yes, I am here with the one, the only Tfue. Welcome. Congratulations, you're doing very, very well. You haven't won yet, but you were definitely within range, 7th placement. So we did see you pull up today in a rather nice vehicle. It was beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, people are saying that I pulled up in a Lambo, but really I pulled up on a bird. You know, I just scooped one off the sidewalk and skirted over to the event. And, you know, I'm doing all right. I got 2nd place last game, so it wasn't too bad. I got 5 kills. Hopefully I get, you know, a couple more points, you know, climb up the ranking a little bit. But I'm not doing too bad, you know.
So what has been your strategy in these past few games to be so consistent? We're constantly seeing you in those last zones, and then last game, Bizzle taking away that victory royale, but excellent performance. What's your strategy?
My strategy, stay out of planes. Every single time I've been in a plane, I just get lasered, either from somebody on the ground or like somebody in another plane. So I'm just staying out of planes completely. And then I'm shooting every plane, so I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, we saw your teammate Cloaksy get, like, I think 2 or 3 snipes out of planes that game too. So planes are definitely the focus today. A lot of people wanting to land on them, but now being punished for it. So moving into this next game, last game, are you going to be aggressive, go for those eliminations, or hope to get them in the end zone?
I'm just going to play end zone, hopefully get the safe zone. If I don't have movement, yeah, I'll probably just rushing people.
That sounds great. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, Turner. I really appreciate it. And back to you guys at the desk.
Tfue, he's learned so much from watching me play on my stream. Great to see him excelling here today.
I think everybody has, Jack, as far as eating burritos goes. But today we're here talking about competitive Fortnite. We want to make sure that we have a focus on exactly what's going down here. We have a ton of prize money in the line. We have 1 game remaining, and the roster of players here today is absolute. It's insanity. Yep. It's absolute insanity, Jack.
It most certainly is. Now, as we get ready for this final lobby to load on up, I do believe we have Sundown over there to give us a little peek at some of the things he's taken note of today.
We're going to check out some of the elims that we missed from that last match, starting with Sofa.
We're taking it back from you, Sundown. I don't want to hear it. I took it back from you.
We have a temporary little lapse there, Sundown. We'll get back to you here in 1 second. Our apologies about that. I think the crowd really wanted to hear more about Courage's burrito eating.
I think the production team was laughing at what you had just said and missed the cue for the analyst segment there. But either way, though, you know, looking at it today, and one big point that really played out was when you think of the winter skirmish, how big the Stormwings were in the gameplay. To now hear from Tfue today, his game plan is the opposite of what other people were doing. It just shows how much they've been weakened.
I think 7.4 really changed the way a lot of these players are playing. You have people opting against Stormwings. You have people using bushes, and I'm going to be very, very frank with you. I don't think we've seen that at all until this, ever. And just the way that play styles have adapted, and that's why these guys, you know, these players are at the top of the game. That's why they're on they're out here at Secret Skirmish. That's why they're competing for so much prize money. And like you said earlier, if you're at home and you want an opportunity to come after this, make sure you're playing on those pop-up cups. Make sure you're putting up excellent numbers. Every single point matters. Don't forget that. All right? Anybody could be here, Jack.
Anybody can most certainly be here, even us in the caster desk, it appears. But I believe this time, Sundown, are you there? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
There it is.
I'm allowed to keep it this time, or are you taking it back? Are you sure?
Please, take it.
You're good?
Take it
okay, awesome. So we're going to catch you up on some of the elims that we missed from that last match, starting with Sofa, picking up 2 clutch elims early on and then being able to transition to it into a solid mid-game. Let's roll it. So right here, pressuring in on Jaeyoung, using that suppressed SMG, making sure he hits the shots, and not giving Jaeyoung a chance to breathe. The second that metal goes down, takes a while to build, and then immediately into a second fight. And look at this close range accuracy. You couldn't even see the hit marker at the time, but the pump was right on top of C's, eliminating him there. Let's take a look at Poach, known for one of the better rifle skills, one of the better rotations, picking off Nate Hill there in the distance. Now jumping on over to something a little flashier, Mateos with a, just watch, it's pretty. Boom! As soon as it comes out, knowing the player's trying to rotate through, very well executed. And then our current leader, Saf, we're gonna see how he got put down just outside of the top 5 situation. Really well played right there from Kroos with the edit play and a clutch shot. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Sundown. A great look back at what we just saw. The final game about to begin. Remember, this is the majority of the prize money on the line. It was $500,000 across our 2 days of competition, $400,000 for solos alone. And Lupo, Saf won, I believe, half of the 27 grand yesterday. Now he's currently in first, which means if he stays in this spot, he would earn another $60,000.
You see there the entire list on your screen, all the way down to top 20, taking home $10,000. All this prizing can be made more effective with creator code CourageJD or Dr. Lupo in the item shop, and it's incredible. This is life-changing money, Jack.
Most certainly is. As again, you see it from top to bottom. Always fun watching the stakes get raised every single event, and I feel like it's just a sign of things to come. That's it, though. We're done talking. It's time for the big moment, the final match of the Secret Skirmish, live from wherever the heck we are in the world. Here we go. There's a look at your players. Everyone's saddled up, ready to go. Vivid, someone who's absolutely turned up today, currently in the top 5. Bizzle joining him as well. Can he rise to the top to dethrone that man right there, Saf? A monster so far today. The battle bus has launched and the llama's taking it back.
The top of the leaderboard right now, Jack, is insanity. Saf, Vivid, Bizzle, Kaizui, Pearl, Tfue. Even beyond that, you have Peyton, everybody else. The list, everyone's very close.
Yep.
15 seconds until this battle bus is finished deploying everyone from it, and it is a northeast to southwest, straight over Frosty flights. I'd expect to see a lot of the guys from FaZe drop down there. Looks like the block may be a slightly populated area. Wailing Woods, a pretty even spread. Even Retail's getting some action at it. Dusty Divot. Everywhere is worthwhile, Jack. Where would you drop last
Where would
game?
I drop? Well, final game, here's what I would do. Right, I would go ahead and land down in Westworld, south side of the map, win my one-on-one engagement there. I would then rotate towards the rifts, take the rift towards the plains. I would use the plains to get in the middle of the safe zone, and I would telepathically read where the zone's going to go next. As I rotate towards the next zone, I would then prepare and take note of who's being eliminated in the feed, thus taking advantage of who I know is weak. When I take advantage of who I know is weak, I get my limbs, get into big bonus, drop 25 limbs, win the game, and then Ariana Grande meets me, and we go to a dinner for 2.
Interesting. You will have to see how things play out maybe the next time you're in one of these events, Jack. But until then, you're stuck behind the desk with me. We're going to watch actual professional players play the game how they want to play it.
Well, let's go, my friend. I love you, man. Saf, off the break. He's going to go ahead and claim the chest right in the middle of the water here and look for any bit of materials he get. And one of my favorite items to get right away in a match is the epic or legendary rarity pump shotgun. For me, it's like when I have that tool at my disposal, I just know whatever encounter I get in, that can be used to flip any bad scenario into something that's winnable, right? One good shot can save a game with that pump shotgun.
Well, when Fortnite decides to add an epic level pizza to the game, I'll have to ask you what your go-to first item is.
Pepperoni.
See if it changes. But until then, Marksman, Vivid, a 1v1 we've seen that feels like every single game. We're going to see how things play out this time around up here in Junk Junction. There's still a sniper rifle back there on top of one of the junk piles. We'll see if somebody goes for that. Marksman rocking a pair of common ARs, 7 minis. Looks like he popped a slurp, so he's going to be topped off here in just a second.
And him and Vivid have had so many battles here today. Each of them has taken the other down at some point, but here's the big difference in this fight. Vivid, 0 shields. Marksman sitting pretty at almost 200 health. He's got a major advantage for this one. Could come back to fight Vivid. Again, someone in our top 5 looking to potentially dethrone Saf.
Would not surprise me if he went in big on this one. You see the arsenal there. A heavy sniper rifle this early in the game means very aggressive pushes are that's possible. regardless of the surfaces that Marksman may put up, that thing's going to go through no matter what, which means a push is available for him, but it looks like he might be backing out here. I feel like if Vivid is paying very close attention and really thinking on his feet here, a zero shield push, probably not the best idea, but he is going to try and gather up as much material as possible just in case maybe Marksman makes a move on him.
Vivid just continuing to bounce around, not wanting to get too involved. Remember, Vivid in our top 10, another player in our top 10, Kaizui. We'll take a look at how things are starting off for him in this game. It seems like he was in an early fight. Uh-oh, Ben down to just 57 HP.
He wanted to throw the quick edit, and he does get caught off guard. Rowe takes our 4th place player, Kaizui, out of the final match. I hate to see it. Vivid still down here. Up here, technically Junk Junction does have a player rotating into who is southwest that he probably has no idea exists just yet. We have a minute left until this first circle closes.
Nate Hill taking on Dementos. Nate tries to fight for the high ground, down to just 3 HP, and this just looks like an unwinnable situation. What can he do to try to reclaim this one? No shot. Nate goes down. Kind of a quiet tournament from Nate, if I'm being completely honest. And now look at Dementos' inventory. My goodness. The legendary assault rifle. You've got the epic rarity pump shotgun. Yeah, it's only a gray SMG, but for the most part, a ton of shields, 200 health, and already 800 materials. Dementos sitting pretty in Fatal Fields.
With 7.4 coming back, Jack, the clingers have been re-added to the game. Grenades are gone, and I'd like to take a look real quick here. Jay Cuddy with those clingers. He's sitting on 6.
Stop.
And 1, 2,
Stop.
Ziff goes to sleep.
Stop.
A back-to-back clinger. As Jay Cuddy gets a 50 HP push there.
He had 50 health with the 200 of Ziff. That ain't right.
200's not enough to save you from 2 clingers, my friend.
Someone call up the Giants. We found their new QB. As we'll go ahead and see McDonald now. A little bit over 100 health. And it's almost funny. You see him just kind of tag these builds, but remember, with the added harvesting rate, hey, 1 wall can make the difference here. If you're just idly running around, sure. Give a little smack, get a couple extra materials. You never know what difference it can make in a fight.
We did see actually McDonald earlier in a previous match get stuck in a crate by 72 hours with literally no weapon. I made that shooting fish in a barrel joke. It was absolutely awful, but it was true in the moment. It's good to see him rocking at least a small arsenal here. Jamok rotating away at only 46 total HP. 36 builds possible, and he does have quite a few weapons. I don't think double pump works anymore, Jamok, but he does have that green as a backup in case he runs out of ammo in the blue.
Over to Aiden, just outside Salty Springs. You notice he's kind of playing passively because guess what? There's 3 players in this one building. Many people call this grandmas. As Aiden's just sitting still, listening to the movement going on around him. It's Ronan now pushing towards the high ground. Dopai there as well. Ronan with the slurp ticking. More than happy to just let this roll, not needing to get in any engagement. Wants this slurp to get as much use out of it as possible before he goes and fights an opponent in there.
I was going to say, with only 3 builds to his name, rotating away at this point, regardless of the shield and HP advantage, obviously he doesn't know, but just making a move for more material is probably the best call in this situation. You do not have to get aggressive for eliminations early, and with, like right here, Dobai with a pyramid edit, he's able to watch out just in case he wants to see if somebody's pushing in. He's going to reset this pyramid on the way down, knock the floor out.
So
he's dealt 95 damage.
One thing to point out, Aiden, here's the thing, Aiden has not moved. Aiden is literally not moving. So Dopai might not realize that Aiden is still in this building just above him. Look at Aiden. Yes, he's spinning around, but he's not making any footstep noise. Dopai could walk right on up here, and Aiden can catch him off guard with 1 clean pump shot. I think he's going for it. There it is. The pump comes in. Dopai now panic building. Aiden's plan has worked to perfection. You can tell he's used this so many times in Tilted Towers. Now bringing the strategy over to Grandma's just outside Salty. Dopai caught in a bathroom. That's not a fun spot to be in as he is just trying to stay alive. Aiden putting the pressure on. You got to think the end's near, Lupo.
Right now, Aiden just looking for any opportunity, going for potentially a wall replace. I have a feeling Aiden's trying to burn out any materials Dope may have left at this point, but Aiden sitting on only 6 small rounds, and that's almost all he's got left.
And
the push out from Dope.
That was Dope's last build.
Is.
That was Dope's last build. That's why he did that. He had no other option but to bring the fight to him. Sorry to cut you off there, Ben. I was trying to make sure I got that the info our director gave to us just as that went on. That's why he made that decision to just go for it in the final moment.
Just a little bit of ammunition left, but Aiden comes out on top. A single elim, 32 builds now. 78 HP remaining. We'll have to see if he finds a bead on Ronan here in a second. He does see him pop out just around the tree. The build begins, and Aiden's playing a little defensively here. Doesn't want to give Ronan an opportunity to get up above. Push down, you see him backing down the ramp, just waiting, biding his time. Slight aggression, just the right opportunity he needs to push on Ronan, and he's going for it. The pyramid to block, and he rotates on the outside to jump out as a defensive mechanism in case Ronan tries to pyramid the ramp up on his own, and Aiden drops down. 102 to the back, and he might have Ronan on the ropes here. Gets pyramided his own, tries to go for the edit on his own ramp, and barely misses it.
He's got no builds.
Ronan's on top at this point. We'll have to see. Can Aiden sneak his way out, make it away, and go for a reset here? Or is Aiden going to keep applying pressure? 28 HP, it would be very, very aggressive of him, but we've seen it in the past. We've seen it a number of times. The shot, he just barely misses it. Aiden's still alive. Neither player taking any damage from that engagement. Reset after reset, Jack, and Ronan's still on top. You see him taking just a moment, popping that full shield. He's going for the long one, and he gets it off. 75 shield, 97 HP. He's sitting in an absolutely dominant position. 8 builds, though. It might not be enough, but Aiden is completely out. He's got to rotate, gets caught off guard by Ronan from above.
When you run out of materials, Fortnite gets a little bit tougher. Just a little bit tougher.
The game changes almost completely.
It's literally just, it's at that point, it's like, it just, every time you see it, it just proves how much Fortnite is a building game over a pure just, you know, being able to shoot game. Swapping over to Takada just outside shifting. Quick edits as he's looking to get very aggressive off the break. And Ben, when we talk about gameplays changing just a little bit now, you're seeing a little bit more aggression out of some of these players who are trying to climb up these ranks. Not only do some of these guys now need, you know, a very high placing or a victory royale, but they need those eliminations to move towards big bonus.
Imagine being in such a point deficit and suddenly having an absolute pop-off game, dropping 8, 9, 10 elims, those bonus points coming in big. That could be an absolutely massive shift for literally any player. Any of the 100 players here could find themselves very high on the leaderboard with even just one good game, and this is the last one. If you're waiting for just the right time, I think now's the time, Jack.
It is. Now is the time. What's interesting about this next zone, Viking Village, as many people call it, is in the direct center and is the absolute high ground. Takada farming as many materials as possible. Once had only 15 builds, now up to 28. You see on the bottom right of your screen, Tfue actually already up there, but it's very small, I know, on that mini-map, but look at how many players have already claimed that top Viking area to try to hold there for the rest of this match.
In the middle of that fight, Takada, while he's taking shots, you saw him kind of jumping and flicking backwards to see if there was anyone behind him that was going to take a shot. He knew he was in a pinch situation, especially because just by taking shots, even that one right there, he does kind of signal to everybody around that he's, you know, he's out here. He's ready to take some shots, but he's going to get shot at himself. Takada now stuck in the storm. The siren, any shield he can pop off here. The last second, he's going to try and go for it. The quick double edit. He owns as much of this material as he possibly can. He's going to jump behind Takada, try and get the shots as Takada's rotating away. That tack shotgun's going to be key here. It might only be gray, but if you can get the job done, and it doesn't, Jack. It doesn't.
Doesn't get it done there. Takada able to earn that elimination. Still over 170 HP, but the zone ticking for 1 right now. 3 campfires, though, Lupo. Shouldn't be too big of a deal with this damage he's taken.
On top of that, he's got the mobility of the redeploy. He's got a launch pad. He might be deep outside the zone, Jack, but he's got the ability to move in, and he can keep himself alive with ease. He just has to worry about getting gatekeeped on the way in. We'll have to see if that happens or not. Meanwhile, Snobby Shores, maybe one of the less visited POIs during this event. here at Secret Skirmish, but right now Fulmer, 2 eliminations to his name already. A number of players still out here with him. We'll have to see how many of these surfaces he's about to take ownership of. You see a lot of players knocking these down as low as possible, sometimes even finishing them and replacing quickly, just because ownership of even one surface can mean the difference between a player pushing in on you inside a house and you keeping them at bay.
Electing to hold on to some of these explosives over picking up the likes of the hand cannon, but now sees a suppressed sniper and decides, hey, this is a tool I want to have to maybe catch a player off guard with a quick headshot.
See if he can catch Vivid on rotation here.
Vivid. Okay, he's boxed up.
Right here at the edge of the zone. Fulmer, the dynamite, going for a big throw here. Knocks his own structure down, but it's not a big deal. Builds back up quickly. Sees that Vivid is going to rotate in. Build that little box on the right side of your screen there. Curious if he knows if Tom is on the inside of this building. He's got to hear him at this point. The jump and the sprint around in the bottom floor. Fulmer, an opportunity. If he picks up this elimination, Jack, that's 3. That would make his first point for this game.
Yep.
It's the last game. Might be time to go for those points, my friend.
He is right on the edge of the zone. Devious now just above. What he doesn't know is how weak Devious is. So he's going to get a push for this. He's got him off guard. Devious not hearing the footsteps. Beautifully played by Fulmer. And Ben, you mentioned it. That will now put Fulmer at 3 limbs. 1 more point earned.
Going to swap that suppressed sniper out for a heavy. The ability to knock down any given wall at any time is absolutely massive. Take advantage of that. We saw in the duos a number of times yesterday. The heavy snipe into Rocket is a big combo for these players.
Jay Young. 128 builds now, too. Near max materials.
The rift all the way in the back as rotations are going to start. Fulmer's going to go for the high ground. That quick edit and reset on the pyramids during a climb. Very, very important to take note of that because it is a double layer on the floor below or above. On top of that, they switch it to a ramp to get some elevation, then reset it back. It's so clean. The ability to rotate in, move, or gain elevation so quickly like that. Huge strat to take note of.
Still just sitting up top. Tom in the building, Caros and Dementos in a fight. Caros very, very good. It's a great shot. Dementos did win it. Okay, I was going to say, geez, he was down to, what, 7 health when he got that a limb. Caros nearly made that happen.
I don't know if you watched that, but the build count literally flying from almost nothing to full. He was at 150 as it ended, which is the cap right now.
And there's so many more mats left. See, what I want to see here is him begin to build towards this next zone, tunnel on out, then come back for the materials that are there. I think that's what he's going to do once he heals on up. But that's what, again, separates the differences in these players in these lower material modes. Well, now I should say with lower materials now across Fortnite, right? It's no longer a mode with lower materials. Now everyone's playing on it.
Those pop-up cup rules are all over the place.
You'd love to see it.
Saf, your current leader, sitting all the way up top, and we're 50 players eliminated at this point, halfway through.
Saf is still here. I mean, brilliant, brilliant performance from him this weekend, no matter what happens. Definitely, if you pick an MVP, you got to think it's him. For what we've seen up to this point, both players wind up taking this rift, Vivid and Fulmer. And you know what? If I'm Fulmer, I'm more than happy with this, right? I get a free rotation, didn't use one of mine, and I get to avoid fighting one of the best players in the world in Vivid.
See where they land here. At this point, landing on top of another player's structure might be one of the only options. Fulmer's going right next to Sofa. He's going to build up the tree, causing a little bit of trouble.
I think he regrets landing in this tree. Look, you can, like, it's just awkward. The trees are just awkward to build in and fight around. He's going to break that down right away.
That's free materials at least, but yeah, it really makes things tough. You can even get caught off guard just by a strange angle. Somebody could hit a shot through between some branches. Building is very difficult. Lana, Sheep, Punisher, Sofa, and Fulmer all on your screen here. 49 players remaining as this circle is getting ready to finish closing. It's got 36 seconds left, and what that means is the next circle is when things start to move. Players are going to be forced to rotate no matter what, and I think a little bit of chaos is going to cut loose, Jack.
Chaos will most certainly cut loose. We're at the halfway point. Let's check in with our pal Sundown.
Thank you so much, Courage and Lupa. We're going to catch 6 elims that we might have missed here. We're starting off with Schmeck versus Overpeak. Overpeak low. Schmeck recognizing that at the 177 HP. Dives in, and actually really good trade from Overpeak, but not enough. Paytech versus Thwifo, 2 of the young gods. Paytech makes sure he lands the boogie bomb, and he's following up. He sees Thwifo dancing, boxes him in, drops around the side, edit. Right as it runs out, he puts the pressure down, but he owned the wall. Thwifo, nothing to do, and he throws a little default dance in there too. You talked about it, how it's last game. Postek here has a beat on him, but sometimes those nerves get to you. Those Rift to Goes down there, he's going to try and fall down to one, but you have to be conscious. You only had 13 HP. You can't fall that far. Just misses the Rift. Now into the battle of Tilted. Triggy able to get some good shots on Slavix. Slavix tries to rotate away from Deuces, but he's going to get picked off. Triggy then recognizing that's there. Deuces gets gifted a little bit of loot. They're both trying to close it out, but Deuces is going to make immediate use of that blue pump that he picks up. Going to drop down, edit the 150 shot, and he follows it back up with another 150 shot. Really well played from him. Now we're going to check out Cease, the only one earning a point, places the ramp, and then the edit. That was so clean, setting up 1 point going into late game. Has to be happy with that, but now let's get back to the chaos.
Brilliant Sundown. One of my favorite additions of the Secret Skirmish has been the mid-game updates to catch on some of those moments we may have missed. That's the last one for this weekend. Props to all of our great analysts. It's been an honor working with you guys on those segments, but now back in the game. 43 players remaining. One of these half in, half out zones where it gets real hectic. Lupo has kicked in, and you can hear the riffs going off in the background.
Everybody's got to move to the southeast side of the map. 30 seconds until this finishes closing. We have 42 players remaining. Fulmer sitting on 4 eliminations. A 5th would mean another point for him. Trying to push as close as he can to that top 10, trying to earn points there as well. Takes a little bit of damage. Rowe also at 4 elims. Cease and Deuce is both sitting on 3, so there's a collection of points going out for our players right now. But Fulmer just above an opponent underneath. Meanwhile, Rowe, mentioned moments ago, the only other player at 4 elims, looking down from above, seeing if he has any third-party opportunities, catch anybody rotating. But he only has 41 rounds left, Jack. If he sees a chance to take a shot, it is not going to be one that is a toss-up. He's not going for anything lucky, my friend. He's going for a guarantee.
Yep.
Now, on top of that, you don't really have to worry about an up-close push. His swap weapon, that green suppress SMG, he has plenty of ammunition there. He's sitting on 300-plus rounds. That's not a big concern. It's the long-range game that's going to be a problem for him at this point. It looks like he's just going to bide his time. He's got that edit open on the pyramid, and he pushes out during this rotation. The Storm starting to apply pressure. We'll see if Cloak, up to his top left, takes a shot. He doesn't, but that rotation is going to have to happen there. And Rowe actually might be waiting to bait Cloak out, catch him on the rotation himself.
He's saving a ton of materials right now. Gets in another fight. This could be for another point right now for Rowe. Gets the high ground for the moment. Drops on down, whiffs the shot, whiffs again. Ooh, these edits, no! That is heartbreak. That is heartbreak, and you see the reaction. That's one where I think we just saw a little bit of the nerves in the main stage kick in, Lupo.
A couple missed edits and a whiff shotgun shot cost him the game. Deuce is here, 3 eliminations. Fulmer now creeping up to 5 of his own. That's a 2nd point. Trying to make his way to the top of the leaderboard that you see in your bottom right there. Fulmer, your current elim leader for this final game, but he's out of builds. 90 HP, 17 shield, and he's getting lasered from his front left up above 41. He's going to have to knock the wall out. He might not be fast enough to get past the Storm. He is 11 HP. The jump shot, 104. The opponent's still alive inside the box, and the edit down, and he gets him. Fulmer goes down to Germ.
Tough moment there. 12 players left, 11 players left. You see just how weak Lenane is on the left side. Germ turns and burns onto him. Top 10 now, top 8, as players are dropping like flies. You see the zone continuing to shift. Now over to Germ, just barely misses that heavy sniper shot. These are the final moments of the Secret Skirmish as Daxor takes down Germ. No surprise here, Bizzle in a wonderful position to potentially take this game. Not many materials left. 3 elims so far. A quick little tag on the player above. No materials. He's got to drop on down. He's looking for the way to take as little fall damage as possible. He's made it to the low ground. He's skating around. Shot comes in. A limb for Bizzle. Turns onto the player above. That's it! He deagled the floor! He hand cannoned the floor!
Are you kidding me?
And the player drops! Bizzle with the victory! I think he's saying 2 victories today. Oh my goodness. Wait, that was 2 in a row. Bizzle won the last game, too.
Back-to-back
That's
victory
why he's saying
royales.
2. Unbelievable from Bizzle. Here it is again. It's Vinny up top. And watch this timing. Bizzle, hand cannon. Goodbye to the ramp. And that's enough to drop him to his demise.
Just before the wall goes up, this last
Look at
second
this.
shot.
Oh my goodness, it doesn't get much closer than that.
Look at the reaction. Look at the reaction. I don't even think he could believe that he hit the shot just barely in time. The ramp disappears. Vinny falls, takes just enough fall damage. The elimination occurs. I don't think you can't make that up. The timing of that shot, I don't think has been matched by anything else. He just barely beat the wall placement. Had that wall gone down, Vinny would have landed, would have still been alive. That tight of a 1v1 with Vinny having the top-down advantage.
Vinny would have had a chance, to put it that way. But instead, it's Bizzle's quick reaction time with the hand cannon to drop him on down. Again, we'll update you guys on exactly who is our overall solos champion, who will be taking home the $60,000 here at the Secret Skirmish. The final leaderboards are being calculated, but does it surprise you at all to have that much, intensity down to those final moments for our last game?
No, we've seen so many moments where players have made last-second calls to secure eliminations, to outbuild their opponents. We've had multiple moments where not even you and I know exactly how things played out until we take a second to look back at the replay. Speaking of replays and just plays in general, Bizzle are back-to-back winners of the last 2 matches. I want to take a look at some plays here, my friend.
Yeah, here's a little bit from Bizzle in those final moments again, spraying down. What we know about Bizzle, he does such a brilliant job of reading when he's safe enough to turn around and begin to just farm up on players who are running from the ultimate enemy in these last moments, which is the zone. This was from earlier on when he eliminated Tfue to win that 5th match of the day. And then again, as we came into this final game, some of the ways he clutched up here, absolutely brilliant. I have to say, my favorite addition in Fortnite history has to be the health on elimination. It has changed the game for the better so much, just so much more, and it's shown off every single endgame the impact it makes.
I think the competitive scene for Fortnite will take, it will sign off yes on that one, Jack.
Right.
Everyone's pretty much in agreement that HP, the siphon mechanic, is huge. It pays off for just performance, for player performance in general. You have tons of action. People are able to push more aggressively than I think we've ever seen at any event in the past.
Yeah, and one thing I do want to take away with the amount of people who have started to compete in Fortnite, we know of some of the things on the horizon, right? With how many people are out there, it is a true testament to players like Bizzle, Vivid, 72 Hours, Tfue, who have built up and established names and brands from the very beginning of Fortnite competition. But even now, with the millions of people who have gotten involved through the Winter Skirmish with the 9+ million players, they're still here. They're still near the top. And guess what, folks? I believe we have ourselves the winner of the Secret Skirmish by 1 single point. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Bizzle, our Secret Skirmish champion. The victory at the end put him 1 point above Sav. The man continues to do it, Lupo.
It's absolutely unbelievable. Back-to-back victory royales, Game 5 and Game 6. We saw that package there. But you look at his performance over the course of the entire Secret Skirmish, every event before this that he's been at, it is undeniable that he is one of the best players that Fortnite has ever seen.
Bizzle walking backstage. Congratulations again. You see Kitty there, ready for our final interview. Bizzle, talk about clutch. The man just rose from much, much lower on the leaderboards to first place. Kitty with the exclusive interview with our winner, Ghost Bizzle.
Oh my God. I'm getting a little bit emotional, Bizzle. Congratulations, first of all, on winning the solos event of the Secret Skirmish, taking home $60,000. From playing together in the summer skirmishes together to seeing you finally take home a LAN event here. I'm so, so proud of you. How are you feeling right now?
I don't really know. I didn't think I'd win. I thought Saf was going to have it, but I got 1 point above him, and I'm glad he got second, but I don't know what to say. I'm pretty excited. It's my first.
I know. First from Bizzle. How does it feel to out-clutch your teammate, Saf? We saw his amazing plays yesterday, but after that deagle shot or hand cannon shot today, how does it feel? Like, just, wow.
I don't know. It's hard to clutch. Saf's probably one of the clutchest players in the game. I don't know why he's not talked about in the top players of all time. He's definitely one of them, and I'm just glad I got above him.
Amazing, amazing. So we do have a clip of your last play. If you can just talk us through what was going on in your head.
Right here, I was super low on mats, and I was going for the wall replace, but I think I had 50 wood here. So I know I needed a kill, so I was always holding my pump out. I had the new pump shotgun out, so that does a lot of damage. And I went for a kill on this guy for an elimination. Almost got him, and I was forced to drop down on this guy. And he dropped eventually, and I think I got the kill on the guy chasing him. I got him. This is hard to comment. This is why I don't commentate. I'm so bad at this. But yeah, I got a decent amount of brick from this guy, so I knew I can just get to circle. I was just trying to get the top 3 placement at this point, and let's just see what happens. I know I had a deagle. I still had a big pot. I was 200 health. I'm not sure if anyone even touched me the whole time.
You're doing a great job, Bizzle.
I'm trying. I went for a quick shot on this guy on high ground, went for a quick headshot and missed it, so I knew I needed to go down. I had no mats. So I dropped down, and I think I landed right next to people, and I got this ice. Landed on the ice lake, and that was a little bit scary. SMG out, sprayed that guy, and I deagled this guy's stare, and he died to fall damage.
That was actually, I was screaming in the background. I think everybody in this entire center was screaming for you, Bizzle. Congratulations again on taking home the Secret Skirmish Solos event. First win ever. Congratulations. Thanks, guys.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations again to Bizzle. Thank you, Kitty. Fantastic, fantastic performance. He said it himself, his first ever, major event victory. And it's got to feel good again in a solos format, proving he's right up there with the best in the world.
You've got to give it to him, too. A player like Bizzle has such class for going out of his way. He pointed out, he said Saf specifically should be regarded as one of the best players in Fortnite. And I think, I'm going to be honest with you, after a Secret Skirmish here, dominating the duos and then landing a second place potentially in solos. We'll have to take a look at the leaderboard here in just a second, but I'm pretty sure Bizzle doesn't have anything to worry about as far as Saf's notoriety goes, my friend.
100%. Bizzle, the man, just rose on up the ranks again. We'll take a look at our full standings to see how it all breaks on down, but what we know, Bizzle needed the victories, Bizzle needed points, and guess what? The final 2 games, he wins both. Here it is, 12 total points, $60,000, and the title of Secret Skirmish Solo Champion. Saf, my friend, brilliant job between yesterday and today. Vivid. He's had a couple off events as of late, but guess what? Right back up towards the top 3. Tfue, 7th place there. Honorable performance from him and a bunch of other up-and-coming players you see all around. Expect to see more of them in the days moving forward.
It's good to see a list like this, too. You have, here's your top 20, by the way. 72 Hours, Blind, Zayt, Ghoul. Tons of names that we've seen a number of times. And like you said, multiple names that are kind of fresh to the scene as far as skirmish events go. It's great to see competitors from all over pop up and put on a good show for this.
Absolutely brilliant event from top to bottom. Ben, final thoughts on the Secret Skirmish?
I don't think I've ever seen players play with such accuracy and speed that we have here today. The changes, especially for turbo build, the mechanic changes, the damage change for the hand cannon paid off huge. It was huge for everybody, and I think it goes without saying the competitive Fortnite environment right now is probably currently at its peak.
Yes, this update, absolutely without a doubt, in my opinion, this was the best event we've ever had in regards to the balance and health of the actual in-game and what was being played. And when it's the 100 best players in the world, you get awesome events, fantastic stuff from top to bottom. That does it for us too, Ben. Always a pleasure, my friend. Brilliant stuff to everyone in production as well. Great stuff to you all. Very, very clean show. You love to see it, but this is just a sign of things to come. That'll do it for us two to throw us out for the weekend. We've got Golden Boy and the rest of the crew on the floor.
Thank you so much, Courage and Lupo. That's right. Congratulations to all the players here. Guys, give yourselves a round of applause. There you go. Enthusiasm. That's right. Anyway, congratulations to our duos winner. You got Saf and Ronaldo, and our solos winner, Bizzle. What a day it has been. Now, there are plenty more Fortnite announcements to come, so be on the lookout for all of the goodies. And I just want to say, on behalf of the production, the crew, everyone here who put in all this work, big thank you to everyone who tuned in to the Secret Skirmish. But that's going to do it for us. We'll see you next time on the Battle Bus.
Take him off this high ground here, and he doesn't! It's 72 hours who fall.
Lands a clean pump. His opponent builds over the top. The rift to go.
Saves himself. 21 players left.
Eliminated from this game. He doesn't have anything to heal with. He doesn't have any campfire. He has nothing to work with. Can he survive this fight? Oh, and he gets wiped out by Punisher.
They're also holding the right-hand advantages. That means you don't have to expose as much of your body. And then the shot. First one goes down and Aiden. Right-hand advantage. We talked about it. To drop down on him. He's trying to defend. He was thinking about, is it worth? That was Foamer who wanted a piece of it, but Saf's going to be able to go.
Saf! What is that?
Whoa! Saf pushes across, jump, 180.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Secret Skirmish. Tweet out the stream. Use the hashtag share the love. Also, hashtag Secret Skirmish. Let's go. The bus has launched. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 of the duos competition.
Well, we have basically a southern middle to kind of northwest bus path. Players already jumping out. I would expect at this point a pretty even spread. That south side of the map, we've seen multiple times in the past, was typically kind of a heavy drop, that little village in the southeast corner. But I'm going to be honest, based on what I've seen from scrim games, Frosty Flights is typically a pretty heavy drop. Wailing Woods, the corners of the map have quite a few materials. Plus those Storm Wings, Jack, especially for mid-game rotations, are very important. It's not going to get you all the way past, let's say, Circle 6, Circle 7. At that point, maybe things are a little too tight. You have a moving circle and people are going to start maybe shooting you out of the air.
Yeah.
But a Stormwing will get you pretty far. But with scrimmage games and skirmish events like this, player count does not drop early. So you might be avoiding a lot of early game fights, but that doesn't mean you're out of the heat with a Stormwing.
Looks like close. He landed just outside Lucky here, this very south side of the map. You see the top right of your screen. 100 players remaining, 50 duos left. The new update that came out in the patch notes, the bush, it's actually really, really good now, Lupo.
Yeah, it gives you a little bit of a defensive measure, just like the Snowman did previously. So it is interesting to see players. I'm going to be honest, before this update, I probably would have been flabbergasted to see a player run around with a bush.
But now it might be a little more common as we swap on over to Paradise Palms. You see Ghoul and Lanai in a fight with Saint and Jacob, as they're going to go ahead and back away. Health advantage to Lanai and Ghoul. That's the name I'm still trying to... He's French-Canadian.
He's French-Canadian.
Yeah, so...
Actually, there's a deep apology for many of us. We butchered his name in the past, but here we are trying to...
I'm going to still butcher it, just to be clear.
We're trying to get
I'm attempting, though. That's what counts.
Gray tack shotgun, a gray suppressed SMG sitting in Ghoul's inventory, 50 shield. Lanai's got 25. Looks like a stack of minis was found. Saint and Jacob there in the middle. Jay Cuddy and Punisher way out on the east side, and actually they're not the furthest east. You can't see it, but there is one more player further past that. It looks like a duo split on the far southeast corner. St. Jacob, no shield between the two of them, but quite an arsenal here. A purple suppressed sniper rifle, that purple grenade launcher, 4 boogie bombs, which have come in clutch in very close range 1v1s we saw during warm-ups. Early elimination, Devious taken out. Oh, actually, Devious and his duo.
He might have getting both right there, yeah. And now, you hear that Stormwind coming on in. He's going to have to back on up for the moment. As both players jump on out, they want to get involved in this fight. Only 4 shotgun shots left. He's going to have to be quite accurate with these. Posey and Ziff just up top. And there goes the plane as it crashes down to the ground.
So Isaac with 2 eliminations already, picking up that duo inside. Lazy. You have to remember, we are running the bonus on health and shield when an elimination happens. So a little more aggressive gameplay, not necessarily a bad idea, Jack.
Yep.
You still, in a skirmish event like this, even the first game when everything's kind of still up in the air, you don't want to play overly aggressive, but it does give players the opportunity when they feel they have a shield or HP advantage. The time to push could be right after a hit, and they know that they're going to top off potentially after finishing a player off. So it kind of changes the way that things play. We've seen in pop-ups, players playing a little more aggressively, going for eliminations when they wouldn't typically.
I was wondering when they were going to finally take out that heavy sniper rifle and just bust through one of these walls, through one of these areas to take down this 2v1. It seems like they're a little bit hesitant to do so as of yet. Again, in these tournament environments, changes a little bit of how people play. There, they finally do get a tag on the player just on the other side. Shots coming on in, and there goes Zizek as he goes down to the hands of Ziff. That was their plan all along. They knew he was by himself, and they finally cleaned him up.
Slow, kind of methodical play, probably more important in a situation like that. Like you said, a 2v1 situation doesn't necessarily mean you can discount that solo. He was sitting on quite an arsenal inside, as they had seen. He just took out a duel before that monster, Devious. So you never know what's in store. Do you push? Do you wait? Do you kind of bait them out? At this point, Lazy Lynx, too, they have quite a rotation to go. They're going to have to move about halfway past Loot Lake to make it all the way to the safe zone. And that north side, by the way, just south of Tomato Temple, there's a llama there. With only one team in Tomato, they might run into it just by default since it's out in the open with Ziff. Povsey going to farm up out here, the metal. You have to realize, too, lower material cap based on the pop-up cup stats.
Yep.
They're going to try and farm and hit that cap as early as possible.
Now, there's a lot of action going on. As we mentioned, one of the duos that was randomized, just like all of these, was Aiden with Butter. Butter, our last-minute entrant. And here's a replay that happened. Aiden and Butter in a fight with Slobbings and FPS. You see Aiden dropping on in, gets up close and personal. Gets knocked, though. So it's up to Butter to make the clutch play. And watch this, folks. This man wasn't prepared to play in this, comes here to just test the servers, and then now saves Aiden, one of the best players in the world. And oh, no. Harmful and Nick Merckx have now claimed the top of Big Red. As Butter and Aiden are on the back foot, the inevitable Battle of Tilted has begun.
I feel like we've seen this a number of times in the past. I don't think anybody's complaining. Aiden and Nick Merckx often seen toe-to-toe here in Tilted Towers. This time, Butter and Harmful. It's interesting, too. Nick Merckx and Harmful both tend to drop Tilted, and the fact that they're paired up for this,
yep,
that's a match made in heaven for a Tilted drop, Jack.
And another thing to point out as well, want to make sure everyone at home sees this in the spectator client right now. You might be wondering a couple quick little things. One, the where exactly is the material count? Well, that little build icon with the 70, that means they can place 70 materials, meaning they have around 700 materials they can use. Butter with a ton to his name, but here comes the fight. Aiden gets knocked. It's Harmful and Nick Merckx pushing on in. This looks like it could spell disaster for this duo. Aiden has been eliminated. Butter all by himself against Harmful and Nick Merckx. Good luck, my friend.
Down 50 shield as well. Nick and Harmful both sitting 100. Quite a advantageous position, but we'll see if Butter, it looks like he's trying to bait either Nick or Harmful in and just go for a quick shot. Try and catch somebody off guard. They're searching for him. He's trying to stay crouch walking around underneath. He does have a trap there. See if he can bait them into it. Looks like his position is known. He's going to have to try and build some ramps to defend. The shots coming through. Harmful and Nick both making connections, and Butter goes down. He was able to save Aiden in the previous engagement, but this time around, Nick Merckx asserts dominance.
Nick Merckx and Harmful win Tilted Towers, back on over to Paradise Palms. That fight earlier from Saint and Ghoul. It looks like Jacob and his teammate have popped back in. It's Saint now popping on the res. It looks like the coming in. There's no way. There's no way he's going to be able to get him. Nope. Down goes Jacob and Saint all by himself.
Another 2v1 situation. He's not the only one here, though. There are a number of other teams kind of circling Sharks in the water. Jack looking to see if they can pick up a third-party Elam. These early game eliminations often very key in securing the checkpoints for overall points for the event. Even just one or two, and you pick up a couple late game, can make a huge difference. We do have 81 players left, 43 duos total, as this first circle is coming to a close. And we will see where the next rotation happens. Looks like it's centered basically just northeast of Shifty Shafts, right on the river.
And you see how much Satan is trying to farm up to get any material possible. He can only build 14 walls or structures in total right now between the metal, wood, and brick he has. A nice shot on the goal. That puts him at 2 limbs, trying to push this duo towards a potential first point. Brilliantly done there. Remember, they need 4 limbs at least to get their first point on the board.
Jay Cuddy and Punisher, they kind of avoided an initial drop. They landed on the east side. This was a team I mentioned earlier just on the edge. Didn't want to get an early engagement, but now might be the time if they know that Saint is by himself, or at least can try and figure out where he might be rotating to or from. We'll see if he swaps out that green tack shotgun for a blue pump.
And there's a look at the map at the bottom right of your screen. A little bit small, I know, but at least you can tell exactly where this zone is. So Nick Mercs and Harmful, for example, they're still sitting pretty inside Tilted Towers. You see barely anyone on the north half of that zone, Ben, but on the other side of it, everyone's flooding from the south side of the map. It's going to get hectic quick as players move towards this second circle.
Surprises me to see. You'll actually notice, Jack, there are little steering wheel icons are vehicles, and there were less vehicles than I kind of anticipated at this point to see rotating around the zone. Only a few players, a few duo teams in Stormwings right now. We have Nick Mercs and Harmful in your bottom right there. They do have a team challenging them here in Tilted Towers. It's Naga Ops, Vakaros.
Nick at 114 structure he can build. When you look at this inventory, it's kind of got everything you want right now, man. You've got the shotgun for the close range engagements. The SMG is there for the ready for the kind of spray down fights you need to get into. The AR for the mid to long range, the sniper rifle, if you can hit those shots, can be devastating. And finally, the mini to heal on up. It looks like Nick Mercs and crew are trying to claim the big gray building, the highest point of the Tilted Towers map.
I want to point out, too, you see there in the inventory, the exploded view of the trap list is actually quite impressive. That's a huge bonus to spectators, for everybody at home and us even watching here. Keep in mind, too, Storm Surge on your screen right there. There is a damage threshold that these players have to be above in order to avoid taking storm damage in the middle of a game.
Yes.
The idea there is to kind of, we'll say, trim the fat, keep the players that are not necessarily engaging as much as others, maybe give them a motivation.
Exactly. So again, that only triggers if they're above the certain player threshold in the lobby. So since there's still 76 players left, they're above that number, which will then trigger the Storm Surge. You see on the middle right side of the screen, it tells them exactly how much damage they are above the threshold, meaning right now, Naga Ops and them are safe. They won't take the storm damage. We're going to continue to flop through these different players as we take one final look at Tilted Towers, but now over to 72 Hours and his duo teammate. Not a fun spot to be in at all, it appears.
So he's getting eliminated dark, picking up the first elim from Self and 72 Hours, and they do have Cease's teammate kind of stuck in a 1-by-1 in there. Learson hiding underneath. At this point, even though 72 Hours Tom is low, Learson doesn't necessarily know that, so avoiding a push at this point is probably the most important thing. Maybe even hoping for a third party, but it's not enough. Couldn't wait it out. 72 Hours and Dark secure ownership of that wall, get the edit, and Learson goes down to a pump shotgun.
And yeah, he just ripped him up with that. Remember, because of the 50 HP on the elimination, he goes from 29 health to 79. He's going to pop 2 minis as well. And now, 72 Hours has a rift to go in his inventory. You see right there, smiles from Dart. The fist bump comes in. I'm sure these guys don't play together a ton, but it's one of those unique experiences they get to get at a major competitive event being randomized in these duos. It's awesome to see.
I think it speaks volumes to the fact that these players, a lot of these Fortnite competitive players, they all know each other. They're scrimming, every single day, every week, hours on end, honestly, and they mess around with each other on Twitter. They make jokes and stuff. So there's a lot of there is a lot of camaraderie here, and I love seeing that between players that are even they're in a competitive environment against each other. Yep. And like you said, Tom and Dark probably have not played together before this. I'm not sure. I apologize if that's incorrect, but the fact they got matched up and immediately can connect and start making plays together is huge.
Absolutely. It's great to see as Saf and Ronaldo right now. They did find an elimination and have retrieved the materials that have dropped off that body. Remember, when you get that elim, 50 of each material is rewarded in the player's loot as you go to run by and pick it out up. Right now, still no individual players above 2 eliminations, but some of these duos could be pushing towards that 4 elim threshold to earn themselves a point.
Interesting to see the first team that does establish that. You see in your map there, the rotation for that storm. We're starting up here in the next 3 seconds as players tilted the north side of the map, the northeast side of the map. You have a few out in the middle. Everybody's going to have to start moving south, southwest. Things are going to start to get tight, Jack. Even on the north side of what is the next safe zone, you already have a number of teams stacked up in their little, their structures right next to each other, and you have players that have to rotate into the same location. Yep. Gatekeeping is going to be absolutely massive on the north side of the river. Ronaldo and Saf going to have to start pushing past Tom and Dark. 72 hours just kind of waiting an opportunity to get into a build fight here, and you can see Tom establishing a top-down view on his opponents. They are not worried about an engagement. You see here this rotation against the bottom floor, low ground warrioring their way in. They don't want to get in a fight. They don't want to have to push anybody at this point. They are more worried about the safe zone, storm damage, and putting themselves in a much better position. Actually moving ahead of 72 hours and Dark, potentially the best play possible because they put themselves in a gatekeeping position. They're not even in the safe zone yet, but they get the opportunity to take shots because they took the chance to move straight past, just build those structures right above them, tunnel their way in and get inside.
This is such an awkward area to have to push on through. You see the clingers already coming into play from Schmecht and his duo. Sap and Ronaldo made it into the zone. That's Ifa inside the double setup of the 1x1s there. A little panic build as he's now down to 48 builds, still with materials left. But again, he was just at 85 before they made that push. So slowly but surely, running lower and lower on materials. So much action has already gone down. About a third of our lobby has been eliminated. I'm sure we missed a couple quick things, but thankfully we've got Sundown to keep us up to date.
Thank you so much, Jack. We're going to jump right on into some of the action that we missed before. Here's some really good pressure coming out of Necrops and his partner, making sure he uses that sniper to close off the wall. And the gray tack shotgun, it gets a lot of flak, but in the early game, that high rate of fire allows him to put down a ton of pressure on unshielded opponents, and it rips through them. Able to convert on this 1v2 situation, and despite his teammate going down, picking up 2 nice elims. Now, switching over, we're going to see a nice 1v2 situation here in the Storm. Deuces and Tickers, they have a storming down there. Rusky is trapped on the low ground. Edison's way down. They put the pressure, clean up the elim, not taking too much storm damage because they're able to jump in the storm wing, run away. Great shot here. Commander Nate Hill on the low ground to pick up Blue Team, and he regains the high ground, leaving himself in a position to drop shots on Zay. Really good rotation, and then coming out, the last one, we're going to talk about securing elims. We saw the snipe to get this, but you want to lock that up and make sure you get that bonus 50 shield on hit, cleaning up Lenon down there on the low ground. Great play from them. Can't wait to see what happens in the end game.
Sundown, one of the most knowledgeable members of the Fortnite community about all things competitive. Great to have him on the team this week.
As we mentioned, a couple different eliminations happening over the course of the match here. 64 players left, 36 duos total.
There are still 64
players in the circle. And one of the most notable duos we mentioned earlier, the one that we're kind of keeping our eyes on, Chap and Cloaksy. Chap with a single elim, just under 100 builds, and they're stuck very close to multiple teams. Does not surprise me at this point. In competitive Fortnite, you often see this, a lot of more secure, strategic gameplay. No one wants to risk getting caught off guard here, caught on the outside. And you see that I don't know if you caught that. That was a deagle shot into the wood wall right next to Cloak and did not break it. That changed from 150 to 100 already apparent.
Oh, yeah.
Shots on Sheep and Dopai. Cloak trying to do any damage that he can. Applying pressure in a situation like this, especially as rotation is happening, is super important because if someone comes up behind Dopai and Sheep, Cloak can take the opportunity to get an elimination or two for his duo. Looks like they might be safe at this point too. Jaeyoung and Blind just above them. Out of the southeast, and that stink grenade is going to push Cloak and Chap. The zoning ability of the stink, incredibly important, and they're going to keep applying pressure, forcing Cloak and Chap to rotate even more, burn through more builds.
And they're only 51 damage above that damage threshold. There goes Dopai and Sheep. It seems like for the moment they can breathe. As you've got Jaeyoung and Blind and Takada all nearby. The next zone has been revealed. We'll make sure to show you guys exactly where that stacks up. 56 players remaining. You see Jaeyoung and Blind very happy to be in this new zone. Cloaksy and Chap were in as well. They're just on the cusp of that damage threshold. But now this is where these lobbies begin to drop like flies, Lupo. When everyone's got to begin to move. 52 players remaining right now, but expect that number to dwindle quick.
Jaeyoung and Blind looking for any opportunity for a third party to catch someone rotating. That's Frosty insane just behind the hill there. Not on the same team, but Jaeyoung's trying to take advantage of the opportunity there. A lot of loot sitting out in the open, and Tyler's going to swing in just past. You see him shoot past the screen right there. That the launch pad being very important for rotations. 50 players left, 49 players as the next storm starts to push, and everyone that is stuck outside of that white circle in your minimap is going to be in a tough spot of forced rotation. You're looking for people to start popping their rift to goes. A launch pad, you're going to see a lot of people recycle launch pads to try and move into this safe zone. Players will literally land on top of each other and build up as fast as possible. Cloak and Chap still running here, still alive. Multiple teams. Looks like Nick Merckx knocked down in there. It looks like actually Tfue had knocked Nick and secured that elimination. Nick Merckx out for this first game. Cloak and Chap sitting on 4 eliminations. That means they have secured a point already, Jack. An excellent spot to be in. The leaderboard, very important even in these early games. Every single elimination counts. Chap and Cloak both having to build and defend themselves. The edit's very important. You'll see quick resets to look through. They want to make those walls transparent so they can see any chance for a third-party shot.
And there's still a launch pad inventory of Cloaksy. They're actually close as well towards where this next zone will be. You see how far they're going to have to move for this next circle. We're about to be on storm 6 of 9 as it's pushing forward. Here we go. They're going to have a minute to make this move. 38 players remaining, 24 teams. So there's a lot of solos out there now, Lupo, trying to clutch on up for their squad. As here we go, the train now begins. Morgassi, bottom left of your screen. Nolan as well. 2 of the players, well, you see Morgassi, the winner of the summer skirmish. You got Nolan, the winner of the winter skirmish. Still both in this lobby.
This rotation in just outside the zone. Some players try and push as close to the edge of the storm as early as possible. They want to be on the front of the push. The effort to try and get into the safe zone ahead of everyone else is extremely apparent. Morgassi building out of his mind to try and get up over this hill.
Only 16 builds left, 15 builds, 14, 13,
players
12,
are gonna be
10,
right behind
9,
him.
8, 7, 6. He's got nothing left. He's got no builds left, and just like that, Clarity comes through and hits him right in the face on that elimination.
Like Morgassi built the wall and edited his own window. Cloak gets caught from behind. Other players are still rotating in, and Chap is going to be left all by himself. He's not going to be able to go out. Actually, look, the storm is rotating back. Chap might still be able to get to him if he a lot of hustle to get there. It's not. There's not enough.
Yeah, there's no way you go for that in that situation. But because of the zone, I think he's going to, he can stop and pop this med kit because it went directly back where he was. They've also got their tunnels that they've already used. 23 players remaining. Chap with 3 limbs to his name. Sam with 3 as well. Looks like Bowman now knocked. Vivid still alive, but barely. They do have a combined 4 eliminations, which will give them 1 point. Remember, via placement, you need to be top 5 to earn a point for placement in this duo competition. Vivid just bouncing around right now. Here's players above trying to save some of those materials. Only 33 players left. Also, only 21 AR shots. That's a knock on the Funk Bomb. Can he go for the full cleanup? It doesn't appear so as of yet.
At this point, it might not be a big deal. The hope that Funk Bomb maybe gets caught by another player rotating to the same
it's
area.
A super far zone for him.
Everybody's got to move east, southeast, Jack.
Diemo with 6 eliminations.
Are you kidding me?
I think they just got to 8 with Tfue still alive. Oh no, they did it. Okay, I thought Tfue wound up getting that elim. Either way, 7 eliminations so far. That's going to wind up putting them at 2 points in this game.
Now it's 8 eliminations,
8,
Jack.
And now any more elims they get is big bonus to start off game 1. 9 comes in. It's already a big bonus. 2 teams remaining. Can this be a ridiculous first game for DMO and Tfue? They could go for max points, plus the big bonus. Tfue popping some shields. They've got to continue to move. They're playing the low ground. Sam and crew trying to drop on down. Tfue the target of both enemies right now. DMO drops him in and chunks him down. It's a 2 versus 1. Tfue and DMO already with 10 eliminations. The big bonus has kicked in. It all comes down to Sam. The man has 3 elims alone. DMO and Tfue. Advantage in this game. Not many builds left. You see DMO still with 40 structures he can build. Tfue down to just 2. Here's a split of the duo. Sam up top with the heavy sniper rifle, trying to look for the opening. Again, still playing this low ground. They've got some traps to use as well if they'd like to. This is just game 1. Sam charging on in. DMO and Tfue trying to break through these walls. Sam still on the high ground. Sam now weak, and there he goes! DMO and Tfue, 11 eliminations, and the victory royale. What a surprise! Tfue's on top.
Absolutely unbelievable. These two, Ghost Gaming and FaZe, both have to feel fantastic about that. And this duo picking up the first victory royale. The final moments here, you see Sam trying to assert dominance with that top-down view, but height isn't always the advantage. DMO and Tfue both applying pressure constantly. You saw DMO there shooting out the surface that Sam was standing on, so Tfue could get that one last shot in, get that last elimination, secure the first victory royale of the day, Jack.
Was that just a 9-point game?
It was indeed.
I think that was a 9-point game from DMO and Tfue.
Hey guys, I am joined by Tfue and Demo. Absolutely outstanding performance, 10 eliminations and the victory royale. But we got to talk about Demo. 9 eliminations, that low ground shotgun rampage. What was going through your head during that?
Nothing. Tfue was just turtling in for me, so I was just gone out, just trying to kill people. That's really it. Just got lucky, I guess, with people around us, and it happened the way it did, I guess. I don't know.
A lot of adrenaline going through your mind, clearly. And Turner, amazing job as always. I mean, one elimination, I'm sure there was a lot of assists. I did see that you did not have...
I think I had 2, yeah.
2, oh, 10, okay, sorry, 2, double that. I did see on Twitter that your Valentine is Cloak, but after this gameplay from Demo, can you maybe see him becoming your Valentine after today?
Absolutely. I was just turtling in, and all I could hear was just, got another one, got another one, got another one. He's dead, he's dead. I was like, what is going on, bro? There's like nobody left, dude. Chill out. It was crazy. No, he absolutely slayed out that last game. It was definitely an ideal first game, for sure. So I'm hyped.
I am very hyped, too. So going into game number 2, do you plan on changing anything up or just rinse and repeat?
Rinse and repeat, I think. Maybe ram a couple kids with planes or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it definitely gets fun here after getting that big bonus. Well, guys, congratulations on your first win, and good luck in the next one.
So let's take a look here at the standings. I mean, Demo and Tfue taking first place, total of 11 eliminations.